Dev Workshop was established as a result of the miners' strike. It was a response to a situation in our community that was quite devastating for families. So a group of women in our community felt the need to get together and put something back into the community just as a reaction to what was happening at the time. We had a lot of support from Community Council at the time and local authority. We also had a lot of support from the Welsh Office as it was then and the Coal Board, National Coal Board. As a result of that support, we ended up in the building we're in now, and this building was the National Coal Board Executive Office for this area. It was gifted to Auckland Community Council and they saw the purpose that we had and they let us use it at a very low cost. At the time, when it started, we really did a lot of extramural classes, we call them now. But we did a lot of work with Swansea University, particularly out in the community, and that we were getting a good response from that. But we always wanted to push it a little bit, really, and get people in who weren't traditionally engaged in education. And at that time, women in particular were less engaged than men in our communities. We knew that there was going to be a change in the way people worked. We knew there was new skills needed, and women then, we encouraged women then to learn new technology skills. And I think that was the start of our journey, really, of starting to develop different types of learning that weren't normally offered. Mai Francis, then coordinator of the workshop, was quite a visionary, and as a result of Mai's knowledge and partnership working, we got involved in European funded projects. And we formed a partnership with a number of different organisations through Europe who were really sharing the same struggle as us, perhaps coal mining regions whose industry was under threat. We visited a number of European countries, but one in particular that really had an influence on us was Sardinia. Coal mining region, threat of jobs going, and they did a lot of work with what we call now advice and guidance, and it was embedded throughout their programmes to work with individuals to find the best thing for them in their own journey in life. And we brought that back, and that has influenced the way we work now, there's no doubt about that. We embed personal development guidance in everything we do, if possible and if it's appropriate for the learner. And that started a new development of courses. We looked at non-traditional courses, we looked at different timings, we've looked at non-accredited, non-threatening courses to encourage the most vulnerable in our communities to get involved, people with no confidence or skills. And this is all accumulated into what we now call Communities at Work. It's a programme that's been developed in working with community development workers and ourselves and others in our community who have experience of this type of work, and we know it works. It works for the individual, it works for the community, it works for the organisation. Whilst I still believe our centre is still very much an adult learning centre, we're talking about learning in the broader sense of the word. We've developed projects that meet a social enterprise agenda. We are a workers' cooperative, and we use those projects to deliver learning in a very non-threatening, inclusive way. So some of the projects we've got now is we've got a day nursery, and the day nursery supports learners. It provides employment, it provides work experience, it provides volunteering places. So everybody's learning something, whether it be from the child, the parent, the volunteer and the member of staff. We've got a cafe, and the cafe again is about healthy eating, it's about taking care of yourself, it's about fresh produce, That's the community learning, but it's also about socialising and getting talking to each other, and it's about the cafe staff being encouraged to learn and develop themselves. And we've got a community garden project. The community garden project is one of the biggest projects we've got at the moment, and that is 3 acres of land that was allotments, and we turned it into a community market garden and a social enterprise. We've got traineeships there, we've got volunteers there, we've got staff there, and I think it's quite an exciting project. It's limitless really. We could just keep expanding it, but there is a challenge obviously in that, in funding wise. All the projects that we develop are developed with the vulnerable person in mind, because if a vulnerable person can come in and be included, anybody can. So by making it as easily accessible as possible with all that support, it's going to be good for everybody, but it certainly won't exclude vulnerable people in our communities. And our community is a community that you would call deprived, there's no doubt about that. There's no services available. We've got poor transport links, we've got no real employment opportunities, and we've got people with low skills and poor health. So there's a big challenge ahead of us.